All right, we're live. This is kind of strange because I can't see any of you, but you can all see me. We have 6 people currently watching. I think we're expecting about 10 people. I hope everybody can hear me well. Let's see. This is our first class doing online, so it might take us a minute to get started. So as you can see here, I have some, let's see, see this here? Yes. Once you connect, some of you already have, make sure you write your name in the chat so that I know that you're here, and make sure you have your books. So we will need today your Language Arts Transparency book and your notebook. We're going to do some writing today, so make sure you have your notebook. Okay. I hope everybody's having a good break time, staying safe, wearing a mask. I think some other people are going to connect to the class, having some trouble with the technology maybe? So attendance-wise, who is here? We only have 4 people in the chat so far. Oh, Ian is here too. Okay. Let's see. So Kim Ji-in is Amy, Ryan is Evelyn, Hannah, and Ian is here. Excellent. Great. Good. I have to talk to Michelle for 1 second, and then I'll be back to make sure that we're not going to miss somebody. Okay, just 1 second. So it seems like there's a lag, so that after I talk, you hear me maybe 20 seconds after that. So if you have questions, make sure you ask them in the chat, but I won't be able to see them until about 20 seconds later. So just keep that in mind. We're going to my Korean name. Okay. All right. We're going to start with the LAT book. You see over here, you all have this LAT book. Let's start by opening this page, this 2-page. Oh, that's the wrong LAT book. You want grade 3. Grade 3 LAT book. You all have this one, right? It's kind of interesting doing this on YouTube. We will start. What page should we start with? Let's start by doing some of this subject and predicate work. So here on page 7, I think I can open this up in my no. Let's check. Where's my PDF? Page 7. Is this going to work? Yes, I think this is going to work. Excellent. So let's see. Oh. Page 7. Okay, so I can do this. Okay. Hopefully you can all see this. Maybe I should be running the stream on my own phone to check. I'll do that during break time. Let's see. So we have here on this page 7, we have 6 different sentences. What? Page 5. This is what I want. Page 7. Here we have 6 different sentences. These sentences are complete sentences, which means they have a subject. Remember, the subject is a noun, like a person, a place, a thing, sometimes an idea. And the predicate, which is what the subject is doing. So the subject here could be me, it could be a school, it could be a car. The subject is more than just the one thing that we're talking about. Let's do this first one for as an example. When we want to underline the subject once, we know our subjects are one word. What is happening here? The black dog jumped in the air. The person or thing that is jumping is a dog. So here's our subject, right? But then when we say the complete subject, we want to do part. Yeah. Can I not mark this? Why can't I write? I guess I can't write. The black dog is a complete subject. The and black are still talking about the dog. And the predicate is what the dog is doing. Jumped in the air. Not just jumped. Jumped is the verb, but the predicate is this full section, jumped in the air. Okay. What I want you to do right now, just making sure you can still see this. What I want you to do right now is in your own LAT, I want you to underline that here. 1 time the subject, the black dog, and 2 times jumped in the air. Okay, and once you've done that, do the other 6 ones here, and then maybe I'll have you write in the chat what you do. Okay, so take a minute and do number 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Underline the subject once and underline the predicate twice. Let's see. Where is... Huh. Interesting. Okay. So because we're just streaming one way, I can't check all of your homework. We're gonna have to continue here. Okay. Maybe this is a good time to practice your typing also. So this is what I'm going to do. Okay. How about let's go in order. Amy, please write. Okay. We're gonna do one of your practice in the chat. Okay. Write the subject of number 2. Ryan. Write the. This is in the chat. Ryan, write the subject of number 3. Who else is here? Write the subject of number 4. Let's see who else is here. Ian, write the subject of number 5. And we only have 4 students here. Evelyn, right? Evelyn is here. Sorry I missed you. Evelyn, write the subject of number 6. Okay? This is in the chat. Okay? So then I can see. I wish this chat was a little bit faster. Because I have to wait 20 seconds to see what you write. And you have to see it takes you 20 seconds to see what I write. We might have to change something for next class. We'll see. It's hard to know unless it's finished, that one. It's hard to know when you're finished because I can't see you in front of me. I'll have to just guess. Yes, you make sure you okay, so you do them all, and then write in the chat your answer so I can check to make sure that everybody understands. Underline them in your notebook. Everybody has to do all of them, number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, in your LAT book. But then in the chat, so that I can see, make sure everybody understands, write down the one that I told you to write down. And then we'll continue. It's good to practice your typing also. It's an important part of language education. What are you writing next? Everybody writing in the chat? Everything is delayed. We'll have to figure out a new way if the chat takes so long. I still haven't seen anybody's answers. I still haven't seen any answers. Do you guys understand? You're supposed to write in the chat. I don't know if it's delayed or if we're not understanding. Maybe I should continue. Okay. You guys will have to practice your typing. Okay, I'll continue then. Alright. Nobody's answering in the chat. Ah. Ooh, good. I have an answer. Good. Kendra's mother buys a newspaper every day. Excellent. Great job. This is perfect. Okay. Evelyn, that's perfect. Good job. We see that. This is fine. Oh, so now the answers are coming. One answer come in. All right. I think that this chatting is not going to work very well because there's such a big delay. I've only seen Evelyn's answer so far in the chat. That's the problem with streaming. So maybe instead we can talk about writing. I'll explain one of the writing things we have to do, and then I'll come back to your answers. So here, let me switch to the other screen. The capture. Okay. So here we have this page. Let me see. Okay, this page here. Number LAT page 14. Oh, got a new answer. Okay. Excellent. Great job, Amy. Perfect. Okay. Seems like people understand what we're doing here. Okay. Here on LAT page 14, this is our writing. We're going to start our writing. This kind of writing is called expository writing. We've talked about expository writing before. It's a kind of non-fiction. So that means, as you know, that it's true. It means that it's not a narrative nonfiction. It's not a story. Expository means we are explaining something. We're telling information about a topic. You could be telling information about a book. You can be telling information about a phone. You could be telling information about a food. There are many different things you could write about. We did some expository reading in our class. Most of you here are from Dolphin class. We did expository reading about, what did we read about? We read about some animals. We did an expository reading about spiders, I think. Yes, that was that class, spiders. It's a very important kind of reading. Usually its purpose is to inform, like most nonfiction. If we look at this page here, LAT page 14, we have an example of a prompt, one thing that we can write. I'm going to explain on the board in a second how to organize this. Everyone has a favorite game or sport. Think about how to play your favorite game or sport. Now write to explain how to play that game. Include the rules, where it is played, how many people are needed, and other details. So sometimes in writing tests, you will see prompt like this. Prompt means what you're going to write. It's like a question, a writing question. The writing question here we can see here is our tips how to do it. First, we should look at what is the topic of the prompt. What is this prompt about? We look at and we know, well, what is it about? Everyone has a favorite game or sport. Game or sport. Game. We are writing about games and sports. This is our topic. Our topic is games and sports. Which words tell how to narrow the focus of the topic? If our topic is games and sports, we're not going to talk about all games and sports. That would be a really, really long book. You can't write about every game and sport or everything about every sport. We have some words that tell us to narrow the focus of this topic. They help us know what kinds of game and sports or what about games and sports are we going to write about. We have some here. Favorite game or sport. This narrows our topic. What are we writing? We're writing about just one game or sport, your favorite one. And now we don't just write everything about that sport, we explain how to play that game. So our big topic is games and sports, and our narrow focus, our main idea, is how to play your favorite game or sport. Now, this is not a very helpful one. When we think about this, when we think about writing this, we first want to think about organization. Okay. Let's see. Can you see the board? No. How do I fix this? Board? Okay. Let's see the board here. Okay. Big ones. Now, can you see this? I'm gonna do some white. Okay. Looks like you can see it. Okay. Let's see. If I write here, that's high. Then go all the way to over here. Oh, good. You can see the whole board. All right. We have to think about organization. Okay. So everybody take out your notebooks. Can you see that? Why are there words on top of that? How do I fix that? The text below. Let's hide that. Aha. Alright, good. Ooh. It's kind of strange. Anyway. Okay. So you all can see this organization. Right? We're going to talk about how to organize expository essays. We've done expository writing before. I remember I had you write a summary about how animals communicate. That was our first reading that we did a summary of in Dolphin class. I know that you have all done some kind of expository writing before, even if it's really short. It's really common because it's just information about something. But if I'm writing about my favorite game or sport, I want to organize an essay, maybe not an essay, to something short about my favorite game or sport. We know that we want to start by introducing the topic. We start with our topic. Or start by talking about games and sports. We're not going to start by talking about the rules of the sport and then say what sport it is. I can't start, if my favorite sport is tennis, I'm not going to start by saying you can't hold the ball with your hand and then say tennis is my favorite sport. It has to go the other way. I have to first say what am I talking about? Tennis is my favorite sport, and then explain the rules. We have explained pretty well in this prompt if you look at this page. It says how to play the game, include the rules, where it is played, how many people are needed, and other details. It really tells us what do we have to write about for this writing. It's not a very big topic, so it's pretty straightforward. If we want to answer the question, our favorite game or sport, we should start by introducing the topic. Okay, we say my favorite sport. My favorite sport is one. It could look something like this is one example, a very simple example. But we always want to start so that we know what we're talking about. Okay. After that, we're going to fill it in with some details. When we think about our details, we have to organize it with the big details, we say major details, and then minor details. Let's say, for example, this first part, how to play the game. I'm not going to start, maybe I should say more specifically. Let's see, if I'm going to talk about tennis, how to play tennis. This is difficult to think when students are not in front of me. I can't hear your voices. How to play tennis. We have to start by the rules, what you can do, what you can't do, how do you win, all of these different ideas. This question gives you the organization, so it's pretty straightforward. We're going to say here then how to play the game. Then we want to talk about, this is a major detail, our minor details here. It can be rules, what you can't do, or what you can do, things that you need. How do you win? All of these sorts of things. All of these are included in how to play the game. So if you put how to play the game, and we have, that is rules, where it is played, how many people are needed, other details. We don't want to, we don't want to mix up the order of these things, like where and how many people. I've seen it before. Will, can you read this? I don't know if you can read that. I've seen it before where students write half of the rules here, and then say things you need, and then where, and then half of the rules down here. We want to keep our ideas together. That's really the most important thing with expository writing. This is kind of an easy example. So it's pretty straightforward here. But this is going to be good. Favorite is jump rope. That's a good one. I like jump rope games. I like that you can write in the chat, then I know what's happening. I know that you're listening then. Sometimes it feels like, because I can't hear any of you, it kind of feels like nobody's listening to me. It feels kind of strange, like I'm talking to myself. Alright. This one's pretty easy. We just want to make sure that you keep the things together. In fact, you might want to put this here. How do you win and rules should probably go next to each other. I should switch this order, right? As I'm looking at my organization here. You can put these in different orders, but it makes sense to put rules and how do you win next to each other. And maybe things you need and where next to each other. Let's try switching this. Because these are related ideas, they're kind of similar ideas. What you can do, what you can't do, and how do you win are connected ideas. They're very similar. And things that you need and where you play it are also very similar. So we can see that here, you look at your organization before you start, and you can find these kinds of patterns. Okay. Rules, and put here what you need. And next to rules, we can put how do you. Alright. So Donna put in the chat her favorite sport. But everybody write your favorite sport in the chat, just so I know that you're listening. And then I can see what kind of sport you like. I think you'll have to send your homework to Michelle later. And you can't write your whole essay in the chat. When we get to bigger essays, the organization is going to be much more complicated, as you'll see. Instead of just writing about how to play the game, you might have to write many different things about the sport. Maybe you'll also write about history of the sport. History of the sport. Where did it start? When start? You might have to write about professionals in it. Things like that. You might have to write about who's the best at this sport. Or is it in the Olympics? All sorts of things like that. Where do they play this sport now? What countries do they play this sport? When we write the big essays, then the organization is more important. We have to think more about these big, major details and minor details. But today we're just talking about how to play the game. So it's much more straightforward. Okay. Starting off easy. Alright, we have another answer. Favorite sport is swimming. Ooh, that's a good one too. I like swimming also. I used to do swimming when I was in college. I did the triathlon. I was on the triathlon team. So you do swimming and then biking and then running. It was too hard. It was fun. I shouldn't say it was too hard. Okay. What about everybody else? I only have two favorite sports here. Jump rope and swimming. Can I shrink this? Oh. My favorite sport is... Are you all on computers? On like laptops or notebooks? Or are you using your phone or tablet? I'm not really sure. Maybe there's a way we can make this chat go faster. So you don't have to wait for the video. It takes like 20 seconds for you to hear my voice. And then it takes 20 seconds after you type it and send it for me to see what you wrote. So it's kind of slow. Maybe we can use GChat or something while we're doing a YouTube stream. I'll have to figure that out. Soccer. Good. I like soccer too. I used to play it a lot when I was young. I want to play soccer now. I don't have a group of friends to play soccer with. I should join a team or something. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Still waiting for a couple of people's favorite sports. But after you've written your favorite sport, and you can start writing, I'd like you to try writing this prompt here. This one. This one. I'd like you to try writing this essay. We'll check your homework later. Okay? A little bit strong. Who haven't I heard from? Swimming! Another swimming. Good. Swimming too. And good grammar, yes. You see here, Amy uses a period. Good job, Amy. Okay. Make sure that when we're writing here, we're using proper grammar. Okay, Donna, make sure you capitalize your first letter. When you're talking to your friends, I know maybe you don't do that. But when you're talking in English class, you should use correct grammar. So make sure you put a period at the end there. Right? A period at the end here, Ryan, you too. Okay. Am I waiting for anybody else's answers? Ian, what's your favorite sport? After you said that, then you can start writing. I'll give you some time for writing, and then we'll have a break, okay? I'm not sure how we're scheduling this time. I have to talk to Michelle about that. Let's see, we started. Still getting used to this program. Streaming program. I've never done this before. Right. So I'm going to talk to Michelle about how you're going to submit your homework. This is what I'm going to do next. Until 30 break 30 to 2:40 like that. Can you see that? Okay. I'm going to talk to Michelle about this. All right, everybody back. 2:40. Let's see. Everybody have a good break from school. It's kind of strange. There's very few people outside because of the virus. Kind of strange. And a lot of my friends are going to go travel to other places, but all of their flights got canceled, so they can't fly anywhere. Hope everybody is staying safe. Wonder when we will have normal class again. Let's see. So, what's going to happen is after you finish your writing, well, not today, but later, you will hand it into Michelle, teacher. I'm not exactly sure how that is going to happen. We're going to talk about this prompt a little bit more. I will do some example sentences, some helping tips. Okay. Let's see. I hope everybody's here now. It's so strange. I can't see any of you. I don't know if anybody's listening or if I'm talking to myself. Where is my YouTube page? We here? Can I see? Good. Is it working? Is it? Oh, you can't see me. How do I fix this? Back. Okay. I feel like fun. So, what kind of progress did we only did about 10 minutes of writing? So, probably not finished. We're going to talk a little bit about, can I do this? Display capture. Display capture. Okay. We're going to talk a little bit about this here. Budgeting the time. Okay. Pre-write, draft, revise, and proofread. You've probably heard these words before. We know what write is, so pre-write. Pre is our prefix, means it comes before. We have like previews for movies, which you see in the movie theater before the movie. It shows a little bit, but not the whole thing. Prepare is get ready before something. Pre-write is to write a little bit before you start writing. I gave you kind of an example of that on the board. For me, I like to write outlines. My pre-write, I like to outline the ideas. What details and big ideas am I writing before I write the whole thing? Let's see, can I show you the camera? Okay. So just like your picture, this is my pre-write. It's a very important part of writing, especially as you get into longer writing pieces. You have to really decide how are we going to organize our writing, what information do we want to include, and what order do we want to write this information in. Like I said before, this is a pretty easy subject. We're just writing about the sport and how to play it. So it was important here that we did that first, and then I decided, it's easier if we switch the two, so that we put the rules and how do you win next to what do you need and where, like that. Maybe you could even decide, maybe you look at this and you think, maybe it's easier if we put this one first. You talk about the game, you first talk about what do you need and what are the rules before, or what do you need and where do you play it before you talk about the rules. It's really important idea to do pre-writing so you can organize it before you write everything else. Otherwise, you might write the whole essay and then you decide, this part will be better later. Maybe I should put this part here. Well, now you have all of these words you have to erase, and it takes a long time. Pre-write is a good way. You can use an outline. Some people like to use idea webs. So they might write something like this. The game, I did tennis. Maybe you could talk about rules and what you need, right? And things like this. And then from the rules, you can say, what are the rules of tennis? You have to hit the ball inside the lines. Inside the lines. The ball. Can you see that? Am I writing too small? I think I might be writing too small. But you can hear my voice at least. Also hear the ball can only bounce once. Rules like that. So people like idea webs like this. You put other rules here, other rules here. And what you need a bracket, cube, and you need a ball. You need a net. Anything else you need? Obviously, you need shoes, but that's obvious. Right? This kind of organization can also be useful. Right here in the middle is our main idea, our big topic. These are the major details, and then we have the minor details that fill it in. Right? It's kind of like this too, right? If we talk about rules, these are our major details, and we put inside here the minor details. Hit the ball inside the lines, hit the ball inside the lines. The ball can only bounce once. Write it inside underneath this. Maybe I'll show you how I do that here. For example, the way that this kind of rewrite might look. You talk about here at the all the way on the left about how to play the game. The big main idea. Here we have a major detailed rules. And I would maybe move in here a little bit. They hit the ball inside the lines. And the ball only bounce once. If it bounces twice, you lose the point. Okay? And then when I go to my next major detail, I like this. How are you in? Right? And then some minor details. Major details, minor details. So pre-write is very important. Very important, even when I'm teaching people in high school or college, it becomes even more important then because you have longer essays when you have to make sure you organize what are you going to say, what do you want to say, and when do you want to say it. Okay? Now after that is the draft. The draft is just writing. We call it a draft because it's not finished. It's just your first time writing it. So when you pre-write, you make the idea. It might look like an idea web like this or an outline like this. After you make the pre-write, then you should try to write it all the way through with full sentences in either one paragraph or many paragraphs. And you should also skip lines on your draft. What I mean like this. We talked about this before in class. So let me give you an example. I'll write on some paper here so you can see. I'll say, if you write on every line, then it is hard to make corrections. If you skip lines, then can easily fix mistakes. Okay, let me get a red pen. Okay, what do you look here? See, right? It's kind of hard to see. I don't know what you can see. Okay, if you write on every line, it's hard to fix any mistakes, right? I tried right here. Oh, maybe I want to change something here. Then I don't have anywhere to write. Here, if I make a mistake, if you skip lines, then you can easily fix mistakes. You say, instead of you, I want to write then anybody, or if someone skips lines, then I have to write like this. Messy. Sorry. Then they can easily fix their mistakes. You see, if you do that, then you can fix your mistakes very easily. Okay, so when you write your draft, you should definitely skip lines so we can fix it. Because you'll see this last part here, revise and proofread, is just as important as the other things. You should never just write it one time and then hand it in. You should always look at it again. Read your own writing. It's good to read it out loud with your voice. You can find more mistakes that way if you do that. Okay, it's a very important skill to be able to fix your own writing. If you need the teacher to fix it, then I can help you now. When you're older, you won't always have a teacher to read all of your writing. So the very important skill to think, is this correct? Is this correct? Is this correct? And find what's wrong and fix it. Now, you all started your organization. Let's see. I wish we could have a discussion about this. I wish we could have a discussion. Instead, well, let's talk about the time, right? Oh, wait, showing the wrong thing. Let's look at this here. Let's talk about the time. We say budget the time. Budget is how to use something. How you use something. We say like budget your money. If you have $10, you don't want to spend all $10 on just candy. You have to save some money and spend it on things that you need. You can't just spend it all on something that is not so important. When we say budget the time, that means use our time in a way that is helpful for us. We don't want to spend we have 45 minutes. If we spend 40 minutes pre-writing, then we only have 5 minutes to write it and then to revise it. We don't want that. And this is just a helpful guideline. This is helpful when you're thinking about writing. How much time should you use for planning? And how much time should you use for writing the whole thing? How much time should you use for fixing it? Okay, so we can see here most of it is in writing it. But we want to use some time for planning and some time for revising. If it's 15 minutes or 45 minutes, it's a good plan to do 10 minutes of pre-writing, 25 minutes of writing, and then save 10 minutes at the end for fixing. If you spend all of your time writing this and you have no time for fixing, you'll probably make a lot of mistakes that you won't see. You'll hand it in and you won't get to check it again. Okay, so it's good to budget your time like this. Yeah. Let's see. Remember, if you have any questions, you can write your questions into the chat here. What is this? Top chat? Only one chat. Oh, live chat. All messages. Did anything disappear? What's the difference here? And how did this change? It's still everything, right? I think it's the same thing. Just making sure I'm not missing any messages. Okay. Remember, if you have any questions, you can ask it here. All right. Now let's see. What can we do next? We have some other pages of LAT. A lot of different things we should do. We did subject and predicate. I still only got 2 answers from that. Amy and Evelyn did a great job on that. How about this? We'll do commands and exclamations. Let's do LAT page 5. Let's go back up here. LAT page 5, everybody. Okay? LAT page 5. Commands and exclamations. Okay, I can't see both. Yeah, you see the 5. Okay, so you will see here we have 6 almost sentences. They're not quite sentences. They're missing something. Pretty obvious, right? They're missing punctuation marks. There are no periods, no question marks, no exclamation points at the end of these almost sentences. This is important. Well, commands is telling somebody something to do. Telling somebody to do something like eat your dinner or take out your LAT book. And exclamations is when you're kind of shouting something. You're saying something surprising or really wonderful or maybe scary. That is called an exclamation. A short exclamation could be as short as, wow! It could also be something like, this food is delicious. Or it could be like, the weather is so perfect today. Or it could be like, oh no, a giant gorilla has climbed in through the window of Especialist and I have to lock the door to escape. Right? This is also an exclamation. We do this to show emotion. When you hear my voice, you know when I'm yelling or shouting, surprised, because you can hear it. It sounds different. When we're writing, we have to show that difference. If I write, let's see, maybe I can do, how do I switch this back? Switch back to the board, okay? If I write here, example, let's think of an example. I'm hungry. The first thing that comes into my head. I end with a period here. This is a statement. It's just telling something is true. Right? I'm hungry. It's true. Right? How do I feel when I write this? I'm just kind of feeling hungry. I can say, or something very easy here, the door is here. The door is blue. Also a statement. Right? The sun is shining. Is it true? That's not true. Pretend it's true. Okay. These are all statements. It's just, there's no real emotion here. I see the door, I say, the door is blue. Right? Not very fun. The sun is shining. You see, maybe I'm not very happy that the sun is shining. Right? But if I use exclamation points for this, right? I write, I'm hungry with an exclamation point. And you know how I feel. I'm not just a little bit hungry. Maybe then I would be very hungry. And I'm yelling at my brother or something. Stop the car, please. I'm hungry. Something like that. Say the door is blue. Well, it's hard to think of a situation I would yell this. Maybe if I have an exclamation. When would I yell this? When would I yell that the door is blue? Maybe I'm on the phone and my mom can't hear me, and my mom asks me, I'm buying paint to paint the door. What color is the door? And I say, it's blue. And she says, what? I can't hear you. It's blue. What? I can't hear you. Then maybe I yell like this. Exclamation. The door is blue! Right? It shows, when you read it, you don't have to hear my voice. You can imagine in your head how it sounds. Right? If I say as an exclamation, the sun is shining, then we know how I feel. Maybe I feel excited about it instead of just the sun is shining. Maybe I'm more excited. The sun is shining. It's a wonderful day today, like yesterday. Yesterday had really good weather. Maybe I said that yesterday. Okay, so we use exclamation points for exclamations like that. We also use it for some commands, like if you're telling somebody to do something. Like this one. It's a little tricky. Okay. We also use. This is obvious. We have another punctuation mark, a period, exclamation point, period, exclamation point, and we also have a question mark. You all know when we use a question mark. It is for a question. I shouldn't have to explain that one. Okay. So now let's go to this page. You are all on LAT page 5. Where are we? How do I switch this? Caption here. LAT page 5. And you can see this, right? We have 6 different ones with different exclamation points. Okay. What should go here? Finish your homework before we eat. Should we use a period, an exclamation point, or a question mark? How long should we wait? What should we do? Period, exclamation point, or question mark? Same thing here, 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 here. Use your pencil and write for each one of these. Make the mark here in your book. Okay, I'm gonna wait a second. I won't know until I see them. Okay, so maybe you're all finished now. How about everybody just picks one sentence, and then type it into the chat. Okay, pick one. Pick any sentence with punctuation you chose. Pick any sentence and type it into the chat. Okay. All right. I'm done. Good. Make sure that when you're typing, you should be using good grammar. I like your exclamation point. That's good. Thank you. But make sure here you use your put a star. You use an apostrophe when you're saying I'm, right? Like I am. Okay. I see up there too. Okay. Right. Type it into the chat. When I see it, I see it. You want to enter the contest. Oh, you have to put your punctuation on it. Ah. Alright. Got it. Good one, Evelyn. Do you want to enter the contest? So Evelyn says, do you want to enter the contest? Shouting. Do you want to enter the contest? Let's see. This is a question here. Do you want to enter the contest? Right? We can say, maybe you would say I, or maybe I can write this on the board. How can I do this? Where should I do this? Maybe I'll do it on the board. How do I switch this again? Technology. Here. So, here. Do you want to enter the contest? Okay. Now we can say here. Okay, when you're done, write it, type it into the chat, Donna. Everybody type a sentence into the chat. We can say here, do you want to enter the contest? Should be a question because it says do you. Okay? If we wanted to make an exclamation, maybe we could change the sentence. We could say, I want to enter the contest. This could be an exclamation, right? I'm shouting. Right? Maybe I feel excited, or maybe somebody tells me I can't enter the contest, and so I'm angry. I want to enter the contest, right? But it says, do you? Then we know it's a question. I'm waiting for everybody else. Write your sentences. Why does it take so long? There's a lag. I have to wait. So it takes you maybe like 20 seconds to hear my voice after I type. I with? What is I with? I with it? I'm done, I with it? Type your sentence into the chat. Type it into the chat. And then we can talk about it. I'm done with it. Done. Write your sentence in the chat. Oops. No, nobody else is going to type in the chat. I don't know if people are listening or not. Ah, okay, so here we have, do you want to enter the contest? Well, same one, but good. Yes, question. Do you want to enter the contest? That was a great party. Excellent. All right, there we have a exclamation there. That was a great party, right? How do you feel when you say that? Maybe you feel excited and happy. So you use the exclamation point, right? Right. Donna, you didn't write it in the chat. Chat it in here. Okay. Maybe we should move on to the next thing. All right. Important to use the correct punctuation so people know how you are feeling. No. Which one should we do next? Maybe the next one. Okay, let me switch this. Here. We can see. Oh, you can type in here. Okay. Ah. Oh, good question. How long should we wait? We got another one. Please spell your last name. Excellent. Great job with the period. Please spell your last name for me. How long should we wait? With a question mark. Excellent. Good. A question. Now make sure you remember here. Should be a capital letter. Capital H. Right? Make sure you hold the shift key. How long? Like that. How long should we wait? Okay. Please spell your last name. Good. Very good. Okay. Now, let's go on to LAT page 9. LAT page 9. Now, what we have here is a similar thing to what we did here. We were looking at subjects and predicates, like compound subjects, compound predicates. So it's not just one word, it's not just dog, it's the black dog. It's not just jumped, it's jumped in the air, right? Same thing here. We want to finish these sentences. We want to finish these sentences with a complex subject or complex predicate. So here we have the Lopez twins. We want to add something in here. How can I type something? I feel like I can type something here, but I don't know how. Do I enter something? Type. Insert. Markup? No. To text tools? Annotate. Text. Okay. Yeah. Good. Okay. If I just, oh, this is way more. Okay. The Lopez twins. We can just say one simple predicate. We call a simple predicate. This could be like the Lopez twins. What's something they did? Easy word. The Lopez twins ran. This is a simple predicate. We don't want that. We don't want a simple predicate. We want a complex predicate. Okay. So we could say ran to the store. Right? There's a longer, complex predicate. Can I make this font a little big, maybe? Okay, that's better. a little bit bigger. Okay. Right? This is a complex predicate then. The Lopez twins ran to the store. Right? This says where they're going. You could also say how they're going. Ran as fast as they could. Oops. Also complex predicate, right? You could also put them together. Ran as fast as they could to the store. You could even add more, right? You can put what they did, ran, how they ran as fast as they could to the store. You could say when in the morning, right? You make longer and longer complex predicates, right? This is all describing how they ran, right? Many, many different things. You could make it silly. I'd like it if you sent me silly ones too. It makes it fun. The Lopez twins ran away from the giant ball of slime. Evelyn and Amy always have slime in my classroom. I don't like it. I think it looks weird to me. But so the Lopez twins ran away from the giant ball of slime. Okay? This is a predicate too, a complex predicate. Maybe I should add that here. Add another one easily. My complex subjects and complex. Very good. My dad and I took a trip to Colorado. Good, that's this here. My dad and I, complex subjects. Good. It's not just one thing, it's two people, and not just anyone's dad, but my dad. Very good. We have all of that here. Excellent. Let's talk a little bit more about complex subjects and complex predicates. So who's chopping vegetables for dinner? I don't know if you guys cook very much. We can answer this one in. Amy says, no, not the giant ball of slime. I'm gonna have nightmares about that. Scary ball of squishy slime. Yuck. Does not sound fun. Okay, so here we can have a subject, complex subject, who chopped vegetables for dinner. We can make a simple subject, right? I chop vegetables for dinner, right? Declan chopped vegetables for dinner. Declan teacher chopped vegetables for dinner, right? We can make it more complex too, right? Here we have my dad and I took a trip to Colorado. So it can be more than one person. It can also be something that describes the person, okay? So maybe it's not just who chopped vegetables for dinner. I can say my dog chopped vegetables for dinner. Kind of a silly picture in my head. I would not let my dog chop vegetables for dinner. My dog does not have any hands, so I think it would have a very hard time chopping vegetables for dinner. But let's pretend. Okay, so my dog chopped vegetables for dinner. We can also put some other information here about my dog. Maybe I have many dogs. So maybe my brown dog. My brown dog chopped vegetables for dinner. Not my black dog, not my white dog, not my gray dog. Maybe my pink dog chopped vegetables for dinner. Okay, maybe I colored its hair. It wanted a creative hairstyle. My pink dog chopped vegetables for dinner. Okay, we can also say how many, right? Like my dad and I, two people. Maybe I have three pink dogs. My three pink dogs chopped vegetables for dinner. Oh, who's this? Somebody else joined the chat? What is these question marks? What is the confusion? Okay. Confusion about my 3 pink dogs? If you have a question, you can ask a question. Go ahead. Is this, or did you join the wrong class maybe? Okay. So we can make this a complex subject. Okay. How many of them? You can use the words. My 3 pink dogs chopped vegetables for dinner. Or, we know chopped, right? Chopped means to cut, cutting vegetables. There are lots of different things we could use, ways to describe it. So I want you to fill this out. Let's do the other ones. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I want you guys to write something. Donna already did it. My dad and I took a trip to Colorado. Very good. Good. One thing to say here is you capitalize the D in dad. Sometimes we capitalize it, sometimes we don't. Let me give an example how we know. Okay. My friend and teacher bought a new fish tank. Good. Okay. One thing here, I'll make a note of this. We capitalize, I'll write it down so you can read it. It's easier to understand. We capitalize dad when we use it like a name, right? For example, if I say, Dad went to the store. Okay? Put that in quotes. But we don't capitalize it when we use it with my. Okay. Like, for example, my dad went to the store. Okay. So for your example, you should say, my dad and I took a trip to Colorado. That should be a lowercase d, small d here. Okay. What is my friend and teacher? What is number 8? Bought a new fish tank. Oh, you should write the whole thing. Okay. My dad and teacher, or my friend and teacher. The other thing here, if you say my friend and teacher, this sounds like one person. One person is your friend and your teacher. You're friends with your teacher. Your teacher is your friend. This one person bought a new fish tank. If you want it to be 2 people, then it should be my. So one person, your teacher is your friend, then it could be my friend and teacher. What is it? Bought a new fish tank. Or 2 people, it would be my friend and my teacher bought a new fish tank. Okay. It's a little bit different. So here we have the my teacher, my friend and my teacher bought a new fish tank. Okay. All right. My fat caterpillar chopped vegetables for dinner. Amy, you have a pet caterpillar? Very cool. Okay. My fat caterpillar chopped vegetables for dinner. The grammar is correct. Grammar, this is a correct sentence. The idea, I'm having a hard time picturing a caterpillar holding a knife. I don't think that can happen in real life, but the grammar is correct. It is a correct sentence. It's creative and it's silly. Good job. Okay, anybody else write one of your sentences. I kicked the soccer ball until it popped. Okay, this is a correct sentence, but that is a simple subject. All you have is I, that's just one word. We want a complex subject, so we want a little bit more than just I. Like, this is what complex means. Complex means more than just one word, more than just one thing. Okay, so we say, give a little bit bigger, something more about who kicked the soccer ball until it popped. Not just one word. Okay. Okay, my dad and I kicked the soccer ball until it popped. Yes, that is correct. Yes, and you capitalized it like this. Good. Well, you have to capitalize it anyway. It's the first word of the sentence. Let's try a little more creative. We already had my dad and I up here. Kind of similar. Anybody else? Let's get some more ideas out here. These are kind of silly. I want to see some more silly ones. I like the silly ones. Alright, Evelyn, let's see one with a complex subject. More than one word. Anybody else? Even if you already wrote one, you can write a second one. You can write as many as you want. I want to see some more ideas coming in here. Send some more. We kicked the soccer ball until it popped. That's still only one word. This is also a complex, this is also a simple subject. Even though we is more than one person, it's still a simple subject because it's only one word. We want a complex subject, so we want more than one word. This is still a simple subject. We want to tell more about who kicked the soccer ball until it popped. Not just exactly who, but some information. So not just dogs chopped vegetables for dinner, but my 3 pink dogs chopped vegetables for dinner, right? We want to tell a little bit more about them, right? Not just Sonia did something, but my sister Sonia did something. Okay, we want to feel a little bit more. Not just one word, not just the word of who, but some information about them too. Donna, you finished all of them? You send another one in the chat so we can see. And inspire other people with creative ideas. My best friend kicked the soccer ball until it popped. Excellent. Excellent, excellent. Great job. The noun here is friend. So friend is the noun. This is the simple subject. And then here we have the complex subject. Who kicked the ball? My best friend kicked the soccer ball until it popped. Great job. Okay, where is dogs and cats? I missed something here? Dogs and cats fight in my house. That is a correct complex subject, complex predicate. Is that one of the ones here? Water fish tank. Oh, dog and cats here. Dog and cats. Fight in my house. Good. We have action fight and where in my house. Together we have the complex predicate. Fight in my house. Great job. Is it true? Do you have dogs and cats that fight in your house, Amy? I don't have any dogs or cats. I don't have any pets. 0 animals live in my house. It's kind of sad. One time I had a fish. Oh, I think class time might be just about over also. Okay, so send those in. I have to check. What time does this class end?
Bonnie's mom is here and say hello.
What is it?
Bonnie's mom.
Oh, Bonnie's up. Okay, let's see. What else do we have here? We can soccer, my best friend, dogs and cats have the paw. Ooh, that could work. Okay, dogs and cats have the paw. We would say, because it's more than just one, dogs and cats, they don't just have one paw, they have many paws. We would say dogs and cats have paws. Okay. Okay. Let's say it like that. My dad kicked the soccer ball until it popped. Okay, until this has one L, not two. Okay, my dad kicked the soccer ball until it popped. That's true. Okay, this is a complex. We do have 2 words here. I'd like a little bit more complex, but we're out of time for today. This is our class for today. We're going to go back to here. Okay. Let's see. Where is this? Now, we're out of time for today. I'm going to assign you your homework. Your homework today is 2020 03 09. Okay. Homework is to do, okay, finish your, what is this called? Don't leave yet. Do your, write down your homework. Okay. What is this? Finish, what LAT page? Was it page 14? Okay, finish your expository writing, LAT 14. Okay, that is your homework. Make sure you do your homework. And that's it. I will see you again next time. Okay, have a good afternoon. Make sure you write down your homework. Goodbye. Who is Chicken Joe? So funny. See you next time. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. And the stream is one link. Then you're gonna send a different. Then you change one. I noticed. I think. Okay. I think every time you send it. Oh, you sent them a link to the channel after. Okay. Maybe I should be able